Yo. Looks like we're just gonna target sell side right now. I think if we get a nice setup after this hits, I'd really like to see a long back to these equal highs. They're really good. Um, but yeah, obviously I can't fade the bias. So yeah, we're gonna inverse this 1 minute BPR and then it's just gonna be straight to the lows. Obviously we can't take anything here because the stop on the inception gap is just too big relative to the take profit, right? 45-point stop, 15-point take profit. That dump was A. So this setup I actually didn't really like. I know Dodgy just posted about it, but we closed the tick, and then the next candle that formed down here made the setup invalid. So this 1 minute created here to run the LRLR, I didn't love. And then we also had equal highs above, and they're obvious. And um, yeah, so for me, I'm not going to take this setup fading what's essentially, equal highs on what looks like, a pretty decent long setup while it's still like a valid long setup, right? Like this is when obviously the long setup fails on this candle close, but I'm not going to enter short inside of a long setup if that makes sense with equal highs above. So those are kind of my thoughts on the trade, but nice, Ursula. But yeah, so if we respect this BPR here and we don't target sell side, which I don't see why we would. Um, I mean, obviously the momentum down is way too strong to ignore, but like I don't know why we would come down again after hitting it already once today, getting that SMT. Like I'm not sure what the market would want to target down here as like further liquidity, other than like maybe this 4 hour gap down here. But that seems kind of far. Um, it just kind of seems like one of those days with bad price action. I don't know if we have news tomorrow that's significant, but yeah, today was not very good price action. So we're going to be cautious and try and not take, um, the first setup we see unless it looks like super, super good. So this 3 minute backup would obviously be like an A setup. Just the only reason why it wouldn't be A plus is because of the lack of liquidity sweep. But if we were to come down here, take this low, or even take this low and respect the BPR and then come back up, like then it would be A plus. Saying we have another ITL at 295. It's on the 15. Yeah, I guess this BPR here that we left unfilled. Yeah, Frosty. To me, like the best draw here are these equal highs. So that's what I'm going to be targeting. After we get this liquidity sweep down here. Oh, welcome, Caleb. One minute reversal at 11:44. Um, SMT sweeping the lows. You can take this setup and then go to break even at the next gap, or just pray that it runs to this high here and doesn't come back for break even. But by the way, we inverse this last gap just right now, so I imagine we run this low now. Um, but yeah, for me, I'm not going to take this probably just because it's not a singular gap back up, and we could reject from the 2 minute there or the 1 minute. And then obviously this setup is too high to take. It would have been a break even. Had we closed the candle here, came up, hit the break even, and then came back down, I'd be more okay with that. But here it just doesn't make sense because you're buying into a civvy. Today there wasn't really any good setups this morning. The only good one that I liked was this 30-second short here, where we were delivering out of the last gap in the leg. This 2 minute, right? We just barely IO fetted it and then got that really bearish reaction down. And then obviously you take profit at the lows. I thought this was good, but other than that, that was about it. You could have tried this one, but it would have been a break-even trade. This 30-second long here, and the reason why this is good is because it's like 10 a.m. reversal conditions, right? And then, yeah, just chop for the rest of the session. So nothing really good after that. Obviously, this starts to look like LRLR at some point, so the draw becomes higher, but we don't really have that delivery that we're looking for. There's no setup to take us there. And then we kind of have the same thing happening here with this LRLR to the downside, and then once more here on the LRLR that Dodgy pointed out. So, couple good opportunities to sweep LRLR, but it's just you don't really know when that's going to happen. Dodgy talks about it being like one of the most difficult PD arrays to trade. Or not PD arrays, but draws on liquidity to trade. You took 30-second OSFL at 8:34. Yeah, so that failed, right? And the reason why is, I actually don't know why this failed. That's just unlucky, to be honest. Maybe because we never closed over the VI. Yeah, so I guess this would be your entry here, 53, targeting that. So we just swept that low now. Like I said we were going to. You guys know the reason why I didn't take it, though. We're just too low. But yeah, I figured that would work. So yeah, if we got this gap on the 1 minute, this would be A plus if we were able to get a V-shaped recovery back up. Plus we have an SMT still. Oh man. Oh man. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna have to take it. Break even at this high here at 334. So yeah, obviously the problem with this is just this tiny 30-second gap here. This is really just like a low risk, high reward play. If it loses, it is what it is. Obviously the reason why it's going to lose is because of that 30-second gap that we didn't inverse. And the 1 minute. I mean, obviously it'd be better to wait for those, but kind of like the whole rock thing earlier. Plus, it's also that like first inverse after a massive dump. So I'm not loving this reaction, honestly. Looks like we still want to go lower. No bias shift yet. So yeah, I guess the next thing to do here would just be to wait. Just keep waiting for more structure. Maybe we get the setup here. I don't necessarily think that the stop out's going to save us. I do think that we're going to ultimately correct and continue to go higher, but the issue was the 1 minute just not closing over in the 30-second there. Do you think we sweep 295? Honestly, I'm trying to get long here, so probably not. Okay, yeah. Yeah, Lewis, yeah, no, I'm for sure. If we get over this 30-second or this 1 minute gap, I'm gonna enter. This would be A plus Ursula. Yeah, for sure. 1 minute better than the 30-second. Uh, I don't know. Probably, yeah. They're like about the same, honestly. Where's the TP? First TP at this high here, and then second TP up here at the equal highs. Third TP at the last set of equal highs. So yeah, still no inverse. Gotta wait. Looks like for that last, you know, 30-second candle here. Dapper, I'm telling you, man, this is bad PA. Yeah, Juice, that's what you want to do for the highest probability trades. Especially on a day like today where the price action's not that great. All right. By the way, Maya, are you here? Um, just for our one-on-one tomorrow, I have to go and watch my parents' dog because they're out of town. So I'll be at their house, and I won't have like my setup here, but it shouldn't affect our one-on-one. Same thing for PM tomorrow too. I'll be on the road. Not on the road, but I'll be at my parents' house. So I'm gonna have a little bit of a different mic. It's gonna be my headset mic, and then everything else should be the same. Yeah, I have that 15 marked out right now, Ed. We're just not bullish, which sucks. Like I'd really like to go hit those 5 minute equal highs. That would be so nice. They're equal highs inside of an FEG. They're such a good, strong draw on liquidity. We do have an SMT at the low here now. I'll just call you on Discord around 8:50 is when we'll get started. If we hit this 15 minute, this would be even better because then we'd get the delivery too. Like I know like the bias is just bearish right now, but there's no setup for me to take, you know, to be bearish. Plus, what's the draw here, right? So maybe this low down here, which ultimately would be this low, this ITL. I guess if we start blasting through this low, right, or this gap. Dude, this sucks. All right, there's low a day on ES. You're saying you want to hit 50% of what, like the 1 hour? Yeah, look, it kind of lines up. It's another 130 sell points away. Yeah, we're just still dumping lower. This is just bearish. We just made more equal lows, so I'm guessing we're gonna go take those out now. All right, so now we're pumping right at the macro, leaving equal lows behind on the 15 minute. I don't think we're gonna go up now, Merrick's, until we hit these equal lows. I should probably just invest it into assets that could generate me more money, like real estate or stocks or even like treasury bonds or that kind of thing. You know, with $1 million, you can almost live off the interest of a treasury bond. Well, this sucks. I don't know why it's so choppy. Like this would be like a decent, long setup had we not formed equal lows at the low. Like, I don't know, man. I don't get this market. Like, if we got this 3 minute back up, like, okay, this would be so good. This 3 minute would be so good if we didn't leave equal lows. This 30 second would also be a good short if we got it. So no 3 minute inverse there. Here's the next 5 minute candle. Maybe that'll give us some more direction for the remainder of the macro. Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it. No, I mean the 3 minute and the 2 minute are relatively similar, but I mean like it's a singular gap back up. The 2 minute isn't singular, but I'm not anticipating longs here at all. So like no long here looks good, in my opinion. I think price needs to go back for those equal lows it just left. Yeah, for sure, Tom. Okay. Yeah, so this 1 minute would be good. Or the 30-second, honestly. I mean, I don't know if it's going to actually inverse or not, but the momentum down is telling me probably. Oh, yeah, Stalker? Who's your source, man? Can you give them up? We have like obvious 15-minute equal lows juice. So while it is super deep in discount, it'll work for like an eval play or something. If you don't want to take it unfunded because it's too risky, I understand. But I mean, equal lows are always a pretty good draw, especially when they're on the higher time frame. So we just gotta wait and see what this is gonna do. I mean, during a macro time, price should draw to wherever the current draw on liquidity is, and I feel like that's currently the equal lows. So we'll just have to see. This is still not good price action. We should just be accelerating towards our target during the macro, and that's just not happening. Gotcha, Stalker. Yeah, the 15-minute equal lows are just here. They're at a 262.25. Are you more bullish for the PM? I'm bearish right now, for sure. All right, let's see if these big buys come in, Stalker, like you're saying. Barely missed the low there on NQ. We made equal lows in ES, so I don't know. I'm guessing this is just going to continue dumping. Finally hit that low in NQ now. So we got the 1 minute inverse down finally. Now we just need the 30-second, and that's the confirmation that we'll finally go for those equal lows. It's just taking its sweet time. Yeah, twisted nut. I'm not saying I'm gonna take a short. I'm just expecting the market to go lower. So like, you know, what I think would be a good short though for like an easy break even target on like an eval would be like taking this 30-second gap short, targeting the equal lows. Equal lows on the higher time frame are always a good draw. They're on the 1 hour too. So like now here's the issue, guys. If we leave these equal lows behind, forget longs. They're never happening. I'm gonna be married to these equal lows. I'm gonna think the draw is these equal lows since they're on the 1 hour. I'm not gonna care if we pump 100 points up. I'm still gonna be looking for longs. If we pumped like 200, 250 points up, like yeah, obviously I'm gonna start looking away from it. But if we don't hit these equal lows this session, I'm not gonna be able to take a trade unless it's a short. So that's why I'm hoping we come down to hit them because I'm looking for longs, right? Like we have good liquidity targets above for longs. We have unfilled 5 minutes. We have an unfilled 15-minute that lines up with that 5 minute. We have 5 minute equal highs up here. We have this like LRLR thing that's been forming like all day. Like we have good liquidity targets above. It's just we're just struggling right now. And like right now, we're back up because we didn't inverse that last 30-second. And now we're putting in what looks like more kind of LRLR type liquidity to the upside. I mean, we haven't really gotten it yet, but potentially. All right, if we come up now, hit this 15-minute and don't see a short from there, and we just continue pumping up, this market's broken. I'm not taking any trades for this session. That's my thing because like in good price action, we'll come back and we'll sweep this low. And if liquidity isn't dependable, like if I can't trust liquidity being swept, then I can't take a trade, and that's what this represents. These equal lows down here. All right, so we hit the 15-minute now. Hey, those buys finally came in, Stalker. Yeah, that would be awesome. That would be ideal. Like maybe a 3 minute here. You know, we got 4 more minutes until we can make it happen. But imagine we chop here inside the 15, form a 3 minute gap, and then inverse that. That would be good. By the way, we also have a bearish S&T here, so I really don't know what's going on. I guess the indices are uncorrelated. Dude, Dude, this is so stupid. Like, why? Maybe Monkey. I mean, I don't know. I don't think the markets care about who's in office. So this would be the idea, right? If we formed this as a gap and we're able to take this short.
Yo, equal lows below. Equal lows below. Dude, who's in this long?
So there's the high here swept.
Who's in the long? Haha, good job. There's equal lows below. It could work, but whatever.
Oh, you're
Who's
talking.
gonna take? Who's gonna take it because equal lows?
Yeah, we're all looking at the equal lows.
Yeah, same.
Dude, this is so stupid.
I know. I don't know why that worked. It might be setting up for a bigger short setup though.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for at this point. Like something to 50% maybe.
Yeah. All right. Bye.
Bye. All right, guys, we gotta hope this 50% works. Like that's the only way we can get a setup here. Dude, why? Why is this okay? Like, I hate this market. I hate this market. I hate this market, man. Why couldn't we have just not made equal lows there? Because like I'm taking a long setup here every time if we don't form those equal lows. If there was like a good 30-second here, I would have taken it, or like a 1 minute, or even like, dude. Okay, never mind. All these long setups kind of suck. That did happen. The 3 minute sucks. But yeah, we hit 50. That's a good reaction to us hitting 50%. So maybe we are going to go down here. So yeah, the 3 minutes still is the best if we got it. This would be the trade idea here. It would be just barely 1-to-1. This is better price action than we had this morning, but like for some reason were being difficult. We have 1 minute till the next 3-minute candle. All right. I'm going to try and lock in. I'm not going to, have any thoughts about what the market's doing right now. How are you guys doing? How are we all feeling? Bored, sleepy. Nice. Green and chilling. Great. Does anybody have any questions about today's market or about setups from today or anything like that? Because I need to find something to distract myself from what's going on. Swept the high by a tick. Nice. Yeah, Wordle in 3. Dang, bro. What is BISI? BISI just stands for buy side inefficiency, sell side imbalance. It's just a bullish for value gap. It's just another name for it. It's easier to say and type. Yep, for sure. So let's say hypothetically we followed our initial trade idea, which was to take the 3-minute. Yeah. No displacement over previous highs here. Yeah, twisted. That's a good idea. What I do is I end up taking care of chores around the house between AM and PM. Appreciate it, Shogun. Can I talk about the dual by importance? Are you talking about like the hierarchy kind of? Like which draw is better than the other? Okay, yeah, I'll go over that. So we've inversed the 30-second down now. It's not a very good inverse. It's just something to watch. Something to tape read. And of course it fails instantly because these are the price conditions we're in. Was the short at 11 good? It was okay. It would have been a break-even trade, but yeah, it was okay. Probably not something I would have taken, just because it's after 11 and I don't really have a clear draw on liquidity for today, like I do right now. making equal highs now. Don't worry, guys. We made equal highs. We're probably just going to reject them. Let me see what you mean. Yeah, so the 1 minute there looks decent. I guess. Barely swept the high. Is there like a 2 minute there? No, of course not. Yeah, I guess the 1 minute there would be the best. It's probably like a B plus or A minus entry. I just don't know what your draw is. I mean, obviously target the low, and then after that, I don't know. Did we hit that upper 15 yet? No, maybe that's still the target. Currently, I take 2 trades total. If I win one during AM, I go half on the PM or risk my AM profit. What I do is I kind of do what Dodgy talked about, where I have like the 2 bullet strategy, right? But I just do it with 3 bullets instead, right? And if I get shot twice, then I'm done. But yeah, so I have 3 trade opportunities per day. I'll try and take, you know, 2 wins. If I take 2 wins, I'm done. If I take 2 losses, I'm also done. And then if I take a win and a loss, then I'll try for another win. Adri, I used to more, but not so much. What's the best way to scale when in trades? I like to scale half at 1 to 1, and then I just like to scale my partials at respective internal highs. So like in this scenario, I would scale 1 there, scale like, or scale half here at scale like 25% there, and then leave a runner to the equal highs. That's how I would manage that trade. Do I count break evens? No, break evens don't count. Juice, I did, but my summation was basically that there weren't any good ones. Like this theoretical 3 minute that I was talking about earlier, like this long. Um, so yeah, maybe we're just waiting for price to chop, and then maybe we get a manipulation leg up, tap into the 15-minute Sibi, and then maybe we get a short setup from there. How long have I been trading? I've been trading like securities for 4.5, almost 5 years now, and I've been trading futures for almost two. All right, good momentum down here. I guess we just leave equal highs and then dump, kind of like how earlier we left equal lows and then pumped. How long did it take me to become profitable? After trading Dodgy's model and after joining his Discord, it took me 5 months to really see some good consistency. This is a lot of momentum down, guys. I'm still looking at the 3 minute now. I don't care about side by side equal highs that much, so they're not really going to have an influence on whether or not I take this trade. What's really going to be influencing it is obviously the stop loss, which right now it would be about 43 points. So I'd only be able to risk like 2 micros, which is fine. So we have 30 seconds until this 3 minute candle closes, and then another 3 minutes until the next one closes. So I'm kind of hoping like we stall here for a bit, maybe come back up and make the stop less. But I mean, with this momentum, obviously that's not the case. But yeah, all right. Let me get to that whole draw and liquidity thing. So the hierarchy of like the importance of PD arrays and like ICT concepts in general usually goes in line with time. So the most important things are usually on the higher time frame, and the less important things are usually on the lower time frame. And then obviously it has to do with liquidity, right? So the things that are seen as bigger liquidity pools typically are more important, okay? So the number one drawn liquidity that hits every single time are data wicks, okay? Especially data wicks to the upside, okay? So that's number one. Number two is higher time frame equal highs and equal lows that are separated, okay? Number three is unfilled like FEGs, right? On the higher time frame. And then after that, it would probably be like LRLR. And then after that, it would be equal highs and lows that are spread apart on the lower time frame. And then after that, it would be LRLR on the lower time frame and unfilled liquidity on the lower time frame that are like relatively the same. So like unfilled FEGs. And then it goes down to like ITHs, ITLs, and then I'd say like right after LRLR and equal highs on the lower time frame that are spread apart, I would go like external highs and external lows. And then everything else after that is just kind of mid, like engineered highs and lows are like mid draws on liquidity. Okay, so we have a 1 minute inverse to the upside here with equal highs above, but like when equal lows exist on the 1 hour, like you're basically just tempting fate. Like it might work, it might not. But yeah, if you just focus on like the higher time frame being the most important and focus on like, okay, what has the most stop orders placed in it or the most unfilled, unbalanced, inefficient price action, those are going to be the most important, right? And the reason why like data highs and lows are so important on draw is because those draws typically have completely inefficiently delivered price, right? We have this really expansive moment in price where it just like rips up and Orders aren't able to be filled efficiently. We see stops, get completely slipped. All these things happen at that time that where price isn't delivered efficiently and market makers aren't able to collect as much commission as they want. Okay, that's why data highs and data lows are like the most important. And then after that, the reason why equal highs and lows on the higher time frame are important is because imagine this: everyone that's gone long from this side of the curve has their stop placed around this low, whether it's this low or these lows or whatever, right? There's a bunch of stop orders down here, all, that have all been placed on all these longs that have happened on the higher time frame since this low has formed, right? Like if somebody's trading off the 5 minute, right? Because they don't have, market data or whatever, they're placing their stop at this low. If somebody's trading off like the hourly candle, right? Oops, I don't know what happened. If somebody's trading off the hourly candle and they're taking longs here, they're placing their stop here, right? And it's the same thing for anybody now that's taking longs. Everybody that's taken longs in the last 40 minutes and is playing off the higher time frame is placing their stops down here. So you have one liquidity pool here to the left where people are placing stops, and you have one liquidity pool here where people are placing stops. And what that's going to cause the market makers to do is look at this like basically like a rainbow to a leprechaun, right? The market makers want to fill stop orders so that they can collect commission, and these are just two pots of gold sitting on either side of the rainbow that the market makers want to attack. Okay? That's the reason why equal highs and lows in the higher time frame are so important. And then that idea can be extrapolated down to the lower time frame and applied there as well. The difference, though, is that there's more people trading between the lower time frame and the higher time frame together than just on the lower time frame, which is why stuff on the lower time frame isn't as significant, because there's less orders, because there's less people trading the lower time frame. Does that make sense? And then the reason why FEGs are seen as inefficient price is because the market moved at such a fast rate, and we weren't chopping and putting in wicks and doing all this, that there are moments in the market, there are moments in price here where orders weren't filled because we just moved too quickly, right? For example, that's all a volume imbalance is it's a moment in price where the open and the close of the two candles were inefficiently delivered, where there was basically 3 ticks in price here where price was not traded. Okay? So that's the idea behind an FEG. And then LR is like the same idea, right? You have like multiple instances of like these swings where you have people that sell here and then place their stop at the high. People that sell here place their stops at the high. Sells here, place their stops at the high. It's the same idea as equal highs and lows. The only difference is these aren't happening in the exact same price level. So it's more difficult for the market makers to attack all of these different highs. Whereas when equal lows and equal highs happen, it's very easy for the market makers to be like, oh, there's 2 instances in price here where price was traded the exact same. There's so many stop orders in the exact same spot. Let's just go target that spot. Tim, no, we haven't taken anything yet. We've been watching this like 3-minute short down to the hourly equal lows here, but all we've been waiting for at the moment has just been NQ to hit its upper 15-minute and then maybe get a sell from there, which is what you might be just in time for. If we were able to get this 1-minute short here and go break even at the low, that could be a potential setup. But obviously the stop is quite big. It's about 30-something points, 30-ish points. All right, so does anybody have any questions around the idea of drawing liquidity? So, Hexola, when I'm talking about this, there's people that are, obviously scalping, that are individual retail players, right? And then there are traders that have millions of dollars that are buying contracts in bulk and, you know, just holding positions on the higher time frame. Okay? So those people are really the players I'm talking about, right? All of these higher time frame people. Not necessarily just the lower time frame. Like 7K, like 350 points could be nothing to some of these people. They might be going for like 1,000 point targets. I mean, there's people that are in from Bitcoin, right? That like have been longing Bitcoin for who knows how long, that have their stops all along the left side of the chart. $30 short. So the problem with the 30 second here obviously is that it's not singular. So you're going to be shorting into all these, bissies here. So you just have to wait for one of them to, or the 1 minute to break here, I think, and then be able to take that short. And that's kind of like what that would look like. So it'd be about almost 2 to 1, and then break even at the low there. Yeah, it's fair, Fahrenheit. What are the main things I would put in a trading plan? Like, what do you mean? I have like a rule set somewhere. Oh, yeah. Okay, so that's easy. It depends on the account size you have, but normally I like to risk a little less than 10% per trade. So, like for example, in a 50K account with $2,500 drawdown, I'll risk $200 per trade. Okay, and that fluctuates based on the stop size of the trade. So, in this instance, like let's say I set my risk tool to 200. Do you see how it says quantity here? If you multiply that number by 10, that's how many micros I could trade in this trade right here. So I could trade 3 micros risking $200 here. Okay. For a 25K account, that would look something like $150 per trade. And what I'm talking here, I'm talking all in funded terms, right? Eval, that changes because obviously, evals aren't as critical as funded. Um, but yeah, for a funded account, $200 risk, that'd be 3 micros. And then normally what I do is I wait for 1 to 1 to hit before looking for a profit target. So in this instance, I would need to wait for a 30 point move in order to take profit. So maybe my first TP is this low here, okay? And then I just try and target also the equal lows, right? Um, I can't take profit before that because, in my opinion, it's best to wait for 1 to 1 because every tick below 1 to 1 you take profit on is the higher win rate your win rate has to be while trading, right? If you take zero point 0.8 RR trades, you need to have like a win rate of like what is it, 60% or 70% or something. So I'm trying to limit the amount of profitability I have to have in order to remain profitable, right? At 1 to 1 risk to reward, you only have to be profitable more than half the time. Okay? So $200 risk on a 50K. Take profit at 1 to 1. Take usually like half is what I try and do. And then take A plus trades. And then don't take trades that the pool takes. Those are like the big things. Yeah, so Merrick's, this is the NQ chart, not the MNQ chart. And on MNQ, there are slight discrepancies between MNQ and NQ, right? Like, for example, on MNQ right now, I don't believe we have equal highs, but on NQ we do. Okay, so that's like one example, right? Is sometimes you won't notice draws on liquidity that exist on NQ when you're trading just the NQ. I mean MNQ chart, and the only thing that really matters because it has more volume on it is the NQ chart. So if you're going to trade, you need to be charting on the NQ chart, and then if you want to enter on MNQ, that's fine. But yeah, you need to be charting on NQ. No, Monkey, if the full TP hits in a trade, I'm actually getting more than that. I'm getting like 1.5 or almost 2R, right? If I get break even on the trade, well, then I still made 1R. I just didn't make it on the full contracts. Um, I guess you could say I'm taking 0.5R, right? That's what you could say. Um, in order for me to actually get 1R per trade, I would need to take my first profit at two R, and then take half there. I get what you're saying. Um, yeah, for sure, Merrick's. And that's why, Monkey, I preach risk reward being so important in a trade because in a trade like this where I have a 30-point stop, it's so difficult to get to 1 to 1. Whereas in a trade with a 10-point stop, it's a lot easier, right? So the biggest thing for me is like if I take a trade, I can take partials at 1R, like 40% off, and then I can take partials at 2R and take like another 40% off, and then in that trade, I'm basically up 1R. Yeah, that's true, Monkey, for sure. Wow, what a difficult trading day. This morning wasn't easy. This afternoon isn't easy. Like, no idea why we're pumping here. We should, by the way, if this market's like actually good and like I think it's okay, right? The price action hasn't been too terrible. We need to reject here. If we violate this 15 minute, I'll lose all hope on the market for today because there's no reason for us to be violating the last gap on in the leg before hitting sell side. It's just one of those days, guys. Like I don't know what to say. Like sometimes we have bad market days, and today happens to be one of them. Oh yeah, I see what you mean. What's up, Seb? Not good. No setups, just straight garbage, and we've pumped away from our EQLS target, so just have to keep waiting. Dude, why does the chart do this every single time, man? Can somebody tell me how to fix that? I'm so sick of having to do that. I go to the higher time frame after switching, and it just... So check this out, right? So I'll be over here, doing whatever, and then I'll switch to the higher time frame, and it will like teleport me somewhere else in the chart. I swear it just did it like 2 seconds ago. I was like looking at the 15-second, I'll switch to the hourly, and then it'll teleport me. But now it's not doing it. You guys saw that, right? I swear, I was like all the way over here, like in nowhere, like in no man's land. I had no idea where like the end of the chart was. I'm not crazy, I swear. Control R. Is that gonna like reset everything though? Wait, Control R. That just made me refresh. Are you sure? Alt R? Oh, okay. Oh, that just brought up my performance overlay for NVIDIA, so that didn't work. I'm on Mac. Okay, there we go. I'll look. Uh, Maybe I have to be on like the... I'll just look it up. It's fine. Basically, all I want is um to like align the chart like with the current price halfway, and then just have price aligned to the right. Like, and I want that to happen instantly. Alt R, yeah. I just did that, but it brought up NVIDIA. Hmm. Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, it's only doing NVIDIA. It's not doing TradingView. Yeah, I don't think any of these work for the browser. I think it has to work in the app only. So yeah, let me try that. Oh, my delayed data. Ah, nice. All right, let's try this now. All right, you guys can see that? Yeah, that just didn't work either. Go into settings. Yeah, I don't know. I give up. Oh, interesting. I didn't know you could do that there. Yeah, I don't know. Hmm. By the way, we're just still trending up. No, I have it here. It says Alt R. I just when I do that, it doesn't work. I think it's because I'm just gonna pull up NVIDIA. Oh, this is GeForce actually. I think. Like these other commands, like Control Z and whatever work, but I do Alt R and nope. Okay, so we got some momentum down now. I'm just gonna forget about this issue and just focus on the chart for now. Good news is nothing's happened, but I don't want to miss something while trying to figure this out. I figured out the issue, I think. All right, now let's try this. Yes. Okay, I got it. So now if I go to the 1 hour. Yes. All right, cool. Wait, but then oh, it messes everything up anyway. Never mind. That was not useful at all. Because like whenever I reset it, it's just gonna reset the scale too. Like it's not gonna go back to the same scale. It's gonna just reset everything. So that's just not helpful. You're saying the 3 minute gap got inversed. You're talking about this one right here. For me, that's not obvious enough in the context of the rest of the range in order to take. It's only 3.75 points big. Yeah, no, Fahrenheit. It wasn't useful to me at all. I'll just keep scrolling. It's no big deal. Yeah, this is just not good price action. Maybe we'll see it clean up at 3 o'clock. I just don't know why we'd be running price back up now after leaving equal lows. I mean, these will be great targets for tomorrow or whatever, right? Like, aren't these? Yeah, so these are equal lows on the 1 hour right at low of day. So this will become previous day low tomorrow. So we'll have equal lows separated on the 1 hour at previous day low. I mean, you can't ask for a better draw on liquidity than that. Of course, it'll hit overnight, but one can hope. SMT, correct. No. Hmm. Yeah, for sure, Guzzle. You press the buttons, not me, man. It had nothing to do with me. You just applied what I, you know, said, and good job. Um, I guess Lewis. Like at this point, we're too far away from the equal lows to still be considering them. It just sucks because like any long, it's just going to be lower probability now. So we have like a really good draw, which are these 5 minute equal highs, but like I don't know why we left those equal lows there. It genuinely makes me so disappointed because we could have taken any long setup here and been like okay. But honestly, there wasn't really a good one, so I'm not too mad about it. This 30-second was okay. It would have been a break even trade, it looks like, but we got 3 seconds until this 3 minute gets inversed. Yeah, I totally get that. So you guys know what I'm going to say about this setup. Obviously, I don't take setups on the buy side of the curve, so that form on like the sell side. Yeah, Hexola, there's like not been like any obvious like easy setup. All of them have been like so difficult. So at Guzzle, basically like you can take trades that are on the buy side of the curve like this, right? Where this looks like an a typical inverse, right? We're delivering off this. This is on the buy side of the curve. All this from 1348 onward is on the buy side, and then everything before 1348 is the sell side of the curve, right? So what you're doing by taking a 3 minute long here or whatever time frame long off this gap created at around 1327 is you're taking an inverse off of the gap created on the sell side of the curve. Okay, this looks like a market maker model where we have this obvious liquidity up here. That's like the start of the market maker model, and then you have the sell model here, and then a buy model back up, right? Any inverse you take off the sell side of the curve, in my opinion, in what I've seen, is lower probability compared to setups that are taken off of the V-shaped recovery at the bottom of the curve, or the continuation on the buy side. So I won't take a setup on the sell side of the curve. That's the idea, based off the sell side. Yeah, for sure. Now, I'm not saying I won't take a long at all. I'm just saying I'm not going to base my entry off of the sell side of the curve. What I'll do is I'll wait for a confirmation setup now to try and take long. But yeah, any of these confirmation setups we've gotten haven't been good or they've been break even. So there really wasn't a trade for us today. And this short to the sell side completely was like against our bias. I mean, when we inversed this 1 minute, I said I figured we would head lower and hit the low, but I had no idea what price would do after that. And the reason why is because this is the last roadblock before the next, liquidity point. So if we violate that, the only place for price to go to is to that next low or next high. We respected the 15 minute. Yes, we did. I really hope we dump now. Right at 3 o'clock. We have this 3 minute gap here. It's singular. It's kind of obvious. We also have an SMT at this high. What about the 137 long on the 1 minute time frame? At Kuzzle, it never triggered because we never inversed that 1 minute gap. But yeah, that would have had some idea behind it. If we'd gotten that plus the 30 second, after sweeping the low, that would have been a good long to take back to the equal highs. But obviously that's not what happened. That would be cool, Adri, but no sign of that happening here. We got 30 seconds before the next 3 minute candle forms, and then we have to wait another 3 minutes. You're talking about. Wait, what are you talking about? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. This 137 long just never triggered. Like we never got the inverse. See what I mean? You're talking about this long down here? Okay, so here's everything wrong with this long setup. First of all, hourly equal lows. You're fading an obvious sell side draw. Okay, that's number one. Number two, do you see how this high here is like the last swing before the or that this is the high that creates the swing for the fair value gap? Do we have PM tomorrow? Yes. Okay, so this high at 1347 gets taken out by this candle 1352 before the inverse happens. Okay, they're not equal highs. This takes it up by a tick. So this inverse altogether is invalid because this is the last, this is the leg that forms the fair value gap, and this is the high of that leg. Okay, so this setup in and of itself is not valid. But assuming we take it, where do you go break even? Okay, if not at this high. Now, if we got the entry down here and then went to break even here, that makes sense. But your break even target now for this entry, if you took it, even though it's invalid, is like this high here. Which, like, I guess it works, but the trade setup in and of itself is invalid, so it's just not a trade. Yeah, so the 1352 candle swept the 1347 candle by a tick, and anytime we have the candle that's inversing the fair value gap sweeping the high that creates the FEG, that's an invalid setup because we're usually using that high as our break-even target. And if we don't have a good break-even target for a trade, it's not a good setup. What am I looking at there? Are you talking about the same trade now? Yeah, so like here's another example, okay? This is actually the better one to use because it's more obvious, okay? So do you see how this candle here is like obviously the swing high of the swing that like creates the bearish gap that we inverse? This 1450 for value gap. And then this 1449 candle is the high. If we sweep this 1449 candle high before inversing the fair value gap, it's invalid. Okay, so on the 1453 candle, we swept the high before getting the candle close. So this whole inverse setup is invalid, so we can't take it. The reason why this is important that we wait to see if the setup's going to sweep the high first is because the setups that come after we sweep the high are usually lower probability, and they don't offer a break even for us. Also, we broke that SMT that I pointed out earlier, so I took that off the chart. Yeah. This one internal high is formed by a 3 candle pattern, right? It's whenever you have a lower high, then a higher high, then a lower high. Okay, so this 1346 to 1348 3 candle pattern is exactly that: lower high, higher high, lower high. And same thing for internal low. You know, lower high, lower low. Wait, higher low, lower low, higher low. By the way, we're back green on the day, I think. Almost. Yeah, we're just barely not green. We were there for a second. So dumb. Why is this a green candle? I think tomorrow we could see a setup down to the equal lows here. And right now, I think we're just going for the 5-minute equal highs. Is this an entry? No. Yeah, Tim, that's probably the right call. All right, man. Have a good weekend. Just so you guys know, we do have a PM stream tomorrow. Tomorrow's our on week. Yeah, Merrick, that's usually how it goes. It's always the delivery and it's always the lack of setups, but like my bias is usually right. Um we just I mean hopefully our wink. I mean, right now we're not meeting our quota. We got to hit our 2 trades per week, right? We try and take at least 2 and hope for 4. And we've only had 1. It was like Monday, I think. Yeah, Guzzle. I mean, obviously, I wouldn't be still trading if I didn't, right? And I only recently started doing PM. So I was fully supporting myself with just prop for money and trading. I literally didn't start doing this till September, and I started living on my own like a year and 3 months ago, like pretty soon after I got out of college, just based off of prop for money. 5 months after I started learning Dodgy's model and trading futures. It's just a lot of that was just learning how to be patient. But I also feel like that's misleading, right? Because a lot of that time too is just figuring out the nuances of trading in the market and whatever. And I'd already kind of figured that out from the previous 3 years of trading options while in school and just learning about the market in general and going to class and learning about micro and macro stuff and all that kind of thing in finance. So there was like a lot of other learning opportunities outside of just trading on the charts that helped me. It's everything is more nuanced than you think. Not everything is black and white. When somebody tells you, "Oh, I became profitable after X amount of time," there's always more to a story, and everybody has a different timeline. So don't feel pressure to like be a certain way or do a certain thing in a certain period of time. Just keep focusing on you. Anytime you focus on like a time-based profit target or you focus on a time-based point, you're just setting yourself up for disappointment, and you're forcing yourself to do things that you wouldn't normally do. Right? The 1 minute short is definitely too small. If this is the one you're talking about, it's like 2.5 points. We talked about it yesterday. I don't know if you were there. Yeah, that's the way to do it, Echozel. You got it. Mitch, how are you guys doing? Did Mike get all set with everything he had to do? Honestly, I don't know much about PB and his trading style. He's still unpacking. Dang, bro. Well, I wish him good luck. How was the trading day for you? Not to like single you out, but all right, Merrick's. Have a good night. Welcome to PM stream, by the way. Thanks for joining. Not great. Took a loss. What was it? This 5 minute would be good if we got it, but we have to wait another 5 minutes. Midnight open, man. All you midnight open people. LR below. Not really. So we tapped into this 5 minute now, and we have a 30-second backup. Okay, so see, this is like a setup that could work, right? And the risk to reward would be risking about 4.5 points and targeting 36. Is that right? No more. 48. It'd be 12 to 1. 11 to 1. Echoes, well, I can't tell you that, but I've had multiple 5-figure payouts. The most I've made in one trade, I have no idea. I don't keep track of stuff like that. The most, okay, like here's like an easy answer, I guess. The most I've made in a trade is one that gets me to the 30% consistency rule on Apex. 10 times however many fundeds. So the consistency rule was like 780. And so after that, like I won't hold runners. I'll just cut whatever profit I have, because if I hold more than that, then I have to make more money in order to get a payout. So I guess the most I've made in a trade is probably almost $4,000 unfunded. But I'm not like one of those big flashy traders that trades like a million minis. Like, yeah, I've had 5-figure payouts. So that's like, so like on Apex, if you take 5 accounts and copy trade them and then get a payout, that's 10K. So I've had multiple payouts over 10K. Okay. The 5 minute kind of getting wrecked here. Maybe we will go back for the hourly equal loads. Maria, that was the 4 point gap on the 32nd that I had marked. So we inversed the 3 minute there. Like I said, I want to wait for the 5. You're taking that? All right. Who got me into trading? I did. Me. If we inverse this 1 minute, I mean, like, your stop is huge, but I had imagined it would work to the low. No, a BPR is just whenever we have a fair value gap that overlaps with a like two overlapping fair value gaps basically. So in this case, we have a 5-minute SIBI and a 5-minute BISI that overlap. We have 1 more minute till the 5-minute closes, by the way. I'm pretty sure it's going to, right? I mean, this momentum down is probably too great at this point. Is this A plus? No, but it's pretty good. It's like an A setup probably. Actually, yeah, you know what? It is. The 5-minute, I guess, would be, right? As long as we don't hit the low first. All right, so there's the 5-minute close. All right, there's the break even. Guys, we really gotta hope this thing just like dumps. Like that's the only way. By the way, this is take profit 1. I'm pretty sure this is 1 to 1 away, just from eyeballing it. Yeah, it's 1 to 1. And then there's only gonna be 2 take profits on this trade. It's this low and then this low down here. If I get break even, I'm gonna be so sad. Please don't. Just dump. Don't we have equal lows? Oh no, we swept them. Darn. Swept them by a tick. We need to see price dump through this for value gap. If we see that, this is like a guarantee we'll go back for the equal lows. We also no 15-minute. Same at Cuzzle. I'm in this too. Yes. This is what you want to see. Yes, good candle close. Very nice. Yes, this is what you want to see. For me, this was 3. You can see 3. Funded at Cuzzle. Okay, bad reaction there. Targeting the equal lows, yes. This is an awful reaction, though. Jeez, man. We gotta hold this 15-second. Oh my goodness, man. Why? Just. Bro, this thing just needs to chill out. You got out? Nah. Don't do it. I mean, you probably are going to save yourself some money because you really don't want to see that, but. I'm too committed to this at this point. I have too much conviction in the shorts working. No, please. Dude, we probably are going to put in a 5 minute here now that we're going to have to come back to, and that's going to be our break even. This is so annoying. Okay, nice. Good momentum. We need to see this 15-second BPR get inverse. That's why I'm on the 15-second time frame. I'm hoping we just create a breakaway gap here and we don't even come back for this. Hmm. Not loving that. Not loving that. This 15-second Sibi needs to be respected. Oops. Oops. There you go. Oops. No 15-second inverse there. Who's in this? Type 1. I called this A+. Yeah, Adri, I switched. I thought I switched, guys, right? I said that this was A+. Like, I said A, and then I was like, actually, you know what? This is A+. Maybe I misheard it. I'll check the recording. Maybe I'm just going crazy. My fill right now is at 347. I entered on the 1 minute inverse. I just entered a minute early because I figured we were too low below the 5 minute, not to inverse it. Okay, I'm glad. I'm pretty sure if we come back now, it'll just be because of the 5 minute gap. It wants to get filled. And we're respecting this 1 minute. Like, I figured we would be due for a retrace, but I was really hoping we would just dump 3 o'clock, get that big red candle on the hourly. Um, I don't know, Exel. It'll kind of depend. If we inverse this 5 minute BPR back to the upside, then yeah, I guess those would be in play again. This is so sad. Yeah, I just got break even there. Dude, this is going back down. Like, is there another entry for us? A 1 minute maybe here? Oh, um, no, Hexola. Because of momentum. Momentum is always going to trump conflicting draws, especially when one draw is clearly better than the other. Also, I'm so depressed because, of course, we would just come back to IO Fed the 5 minute. Yeah, dude, we're going back down. Oh yeah, this. I forgot about that. Dude, I feel like for the last week we haven't been able to get a trade that's ran for over 30 points. They've all just like ran for 30 and then came back, or ran for 25 and then came back. I'm not gonna long into a 5 minute city, by the way, guys. So we did get a 30-second long here, but I'm not taking it. We do have a bearish SMT at this high. And we just broke it. Seb, I told you, man, when you joined and you asked, I said no, it's not good, bro. So, sweep of highs, delivering out of the 5 minutes, singular 30-second gap. What do we think, chat? 30-second BPR. All right, there would be the entry. I think this is like an A setup, by the way. I just think that PA is kind of bad now. That's what makes it an A setup. But I think if price action would have been good, and we would have gotten the setup earlier, like it would be A plus. Because this is like the confirmation setup short, right? This is one of the setups I like to take. Also, the risk reward is so much better on this trade compared to the original short we took. Right? You can actually scale. I think break even after we take this low at 325.5. It's just, this is not good PA. So I can't say it's A plus. Echoes. Well, I can't say I'm taking this one because it's not an A plus setup, but I mean, Hopefully we can just go down here and not come back for the break even. Hopefully this thing just tanks. And we run the low and we inverse the 1 minute. Okay, here comes 35. Hopefully 35, like every 5 minute candle open tends to have some volatility. No, wrong direction, please. All right, so there's TP1. TP number 2 would be at 307.50 or whatever that low is down there, 75, I guess. Okay, now we just need to see this 1 minute get inversed. All right, who took the 30-second short there? Type 1. Okay. Oh man, we're still not inversing that 1 minute. And ES and NQ are super uncorrelated right now. Yeah, Jesse, I'm for sure break even now. Why wasn't it A plus? Because the price action got really choppy and really bad. Price was uncorrelated with ES for NQ. We had wicks that were bigger than bodies here, and yeah, it just didn't feel like good momentum, right? This was really good. Like this is why this was A plus, right? Because the momentum. But this not so much. Does that make sense? But yeah, obviously no 1 minute inverse there. So still up in the air whether or not we're gonna head lower. And I can't talk about a setup or say I'm taking it unless it's A plus, right? That's one of my rules is I only take A plus setups. So 30-second long we're talking about? Yeah, that's just not my bias right now at all. All right, so I just got break even on that. Man, this market sucks. I'm so over it. You know what? On that note, I'm getting off. Who's with me, chat? All right. I mean, at this point, is your mental capital spent? Because personally, mine is, right? It's been so frustrating to watch this market just like come up, run break evens, do all this stuff. So any trade we take after this kind of feels like over trading, and we're gonna be trading after spending our mental capital. So let's apply some of what I talk about, and let's take the moment now to have some self control and say, you know what, we've taken a lot of setups here, we've tried our best, but it's too frustrating, and the mental capital is too burnt. If anybody has any more questions, though, I'll still be on right now. But as far as the trading goes, I'm done. So if that's what you're here for, forget it. But yeah, if anybody has questions, let me know. If nobody has any more questions for me, we'll wrap up. think I should stay in it, up to you, bro. I think that the equal lows are a very good draw. I have conviction in those hitting. How many trades did I take this morning? None. All right, Lewis. I'll catch you tomorrow. All right. Well, I guess if nobody has any more questions, maybe a Cuzzle. You too, Adri. Good luck in the trade. No, tomorrow we are on. Tomorrow we are on for PM. I'll make a little announcement about that. Yeah, bro, for sure. Alrighty. On that note, I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Thank you guys for being understanding and just all the drama of today's market. Like so choppy, such bad delivery. All right. So hopefully tomorrow's better. Tomorrow we are on, so I'll catch you guys at 1:30 as usual. And yeah, peace out.